The Johannesburg Stock Exchange is little changed today, with its global counterparts mixed as global risks contend with strong U.S. corporate earnings. The U.S. stocks rallied yesterday as major companies reported strong third-quarter earnings, which helped ease some of the concern over inflationary pressures in the global economy. Carmen Mpelwane, who is equity analyst at Absa Asset Management, joins us now to dissect the latest economic data and the market moves. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Mpelwane. Now, the rand looked to be struggling with direction somewhat in early trade today. How is it looking now?
At the moment, the rand is strengthened. We saw into the announcement at 10 a.m. of the price inflation numbers that there might have been some concern around higher inflation than expected. However, post the announcement at 10 a.m., we saw the rand strengthening quite significantly.
Now, gold prices rose earlier today, boosted by a slightly weaker dollar. What sentiment is driving those moves?
Yeah, so we've seen gold today up about 52 bips so far. A lot of that driven around an announcement by a Fed official stating that he expects that the interest rate is likely to only start being impacted at a later stage. And so we're seeing that in terms of the rate hike prospects being pushed out, and the result of that being that the gold price has increased.
Now, annual consumer price inflation accelerated to 5% in the month of September, which is a second consecutive monthly increase, with fuel prices expected to rise once again. Should consumers brace themselves for higher interest rates soon? Is this the end of the interest rate holiday?
Yeah, it is concerning. 5% is above the midpoint for the target range between 3 to 6%. However, consensus was looking for 5%, so not too much of a shock in terms of that. As you mentioned, fuel price has been up year to date, up almost 20%. And that has impacted supply chain costs, so transportation, food, as well as housing. The Reserve Bank governor last month did guide that there is a potential, or it is possible, that there may be a 25 bp rate hike in the fourth quarter, but consensus at this moment is still looking for early 2020 for hikes to commence.
Anglo American says that De Beers' rough diamond sales fell. Could this be an indicator of reduced consumer demand?
Yeah, you've got to put it into perspective. So we did see a decline by 6.1%. However, it's largely in line year to date to 2019. And that gives an indication that we still have a ways to go, but it's not as bad as certain industries. This is the 8th cycle for the year, which means that there are 2 remaining. And management at Anglo have guided that they remain positive that going into the festive season, which is a high sales season, they'll see an uptick in their numbers.
Let's take a look now at the sectional title developer Melbourne Properties. They say that their operating activity has steadily recovered to pre-pandemic levels. The group revenue rose by 41% to 1.3 billion rand to end August. Talk us through those numbers.
Yeah, so obviously property has taken a significant knock through the pandemic. However, Melbourne's offering is slightly different in terms of sectional title and therefore apartments. We are in an environment where there is a very low interest rate as well that's being offered. And we're seeing that households in general have been saving a lot more on the back of lack of movement, lack of traveling, lack of entertainment. So it's not surprising that the numbers have come out strong. Top line in terms of revenue remains below pre-pandemic levels. However, profitability has improved significantly for the group.
Carmen Mpelwane, thank you once again for today's market wrap.